window player, your star players that are putting up the performances, but maybe keep an eye out for dropping what he's going to be able to do.
Well, the IGL may well lead by example. And let's give an example how we think the series is going to go down, the way Pistols are going live. So your predictions, are you going Sharks or are you going Canids?
I'm going to go 2-1 Red Canids, I think, in this lower bracket game.
I'm going to back the Sharks a little bit more. They have looked impressive at times. Both sides want redemption for their losses to the top two teams in the bracket. They've got to go for each other first and foremost. Pistols are in with the Sharks on the CT side. Star, Red Canids have two players to try and deal with here on the B attack. Koala is going to try and hold off for as best he can, but Cowes is going to draw out first blood against the man. RDN is in the back lines. He's waiting for players to make their moves. Good shot onto Venom Zera. Needs a little bit more out of this one, though. Angelo comes up with a little bit extra support into the back lines back at Market. Still got CT surrounded, but RDN continues to fight. Perfect headshots taken as Cold is given a cold shoulder. Down to a 4 versus 2, making it 3 with Drop getting one on Follow. The time to work with, so Red Canids can take a little bit extra moments to try and pick up these fights as appropriate, get them confidently in, which Ponta does. Onto RDN, 2v2 now. Drop working around the edges of the bomb site, can't lock in that casualty at the bins. Ponta can though, look for his second man, not quite get it. Angelo out of ammo, trying to go to a second pistol, but he's thrown it away for nothing. And that gives Drop the freest kill of the round, and the pistol round for Red Canids.
Well, you feel for RDN, not only is he stalling for a lot of time, but he's doing excellent work in terms of impact. He's getting some real crispy kills. Angelo on the flank that's coming in from Market is establishing that crossfire on the swing out towards bench. That looks to be a done deal. You're looking at that round saying, okay, Red Canids, they might be able to get one more kill here, but they're certainly not getting a bomb plant, let alone a round victory. What a recovery that is from the T's.
Yeah, huge start for Red Canids when you actually thought that Sharks' accuracy was going to be good enough.
And for Sharks, Jay, they're one of the best teams in the comp for pistol wins. They have currently won 10 pistol wins and just 2 losses going into this series. So the idea that you had, what, a 4 versus 2 right there? You expect that to just be over and they expect that win rate to continue.
You can knock a 3 into that loss column now. Red Canids putting them down as quickly as is possible, and now focus upon dealing with the eco basis. No major force buys in from the Sharks side for Red Canids. Perfect opportunity to really get going, really get started on your own map pick to build the basis of a strong opening map in the series. Gamble stack is in towards the A bomb site though, so these USPs don't quite find the angles they're looking for. Can't converge on any of the rifles. Flashbang does keep him blinded for a second. Tower checks that ninja spot though. And all's well that ends well with all pistols getting overwhelmed.
Even the Sharks organization, they're not playing a huge amount of Mirage in recent history, and it's only the 3rd time and now going to be the 4th time that Angelo has come in from the team to play a Mirage. But it's 5 wins and 2 losses for them, and a little bit of a winning streak as of late. The last one being that 13-6 that they had against Keydstars to basically debut in the tournament. So you've got a winning streak of 3 from Red Canids and then 3 from Sharks. So one of those streaks of Mirage is going to get ended today.
Unfortunately, it's not the biggest of streaks, but you know, right to look at that, a little bit of success, and that success coming into the Pro League qualifier. 2 of those maps from Red Canids played during this competition against Imperial and Flamengo. Keydstars fell towards Sharks earlier on during stage 1 of the competition.
What's quite surprising, thinking about the Mirage officials that you mentioned against Flamingo and Imperial, really big one-sided first half leads for Red Canids, but yet both of those games were quite competitive. So the one against Imperial, that was a 9-3 T side in the first half. Against Flamingo, it was a 10-2 CT side. And yet somehow against Imperial, it went 13-10, and then Flamingo went into overtime to 22-20. So maybe that's something to at least consider when Red Canids get up to maybe a big lead, or maybe when they're in touching distance of closing out, to just see how quickly they are going to close out the official.
Well, it's early doors to call a winner. The rifles come in from the Sharks. They can try and answer back to Red Canids on the start. Khalil's on 4, Mac 10 as well. M4s from AWP, Glass Cannon for Angelo here on the Sharks side, and like we mentioned yesterday when we were calling the Sharks match, one of the players we're watching out for the most just because he is so new by comparison to everyone else on server. Doesn't deliver that first pick, but does provide the necessary support for RDN to aggress. Flash getting caught on the body, he's blinded. He's probably seen by the T side here. Now can get flanked in from this underpass individual. Coward struggles, and eventually Cold Zero's Molotov is credited with the kill.
It's a positive move there from RDN to try and get that aggressive. Unfortunately, there's just so much util. You've got counter flashes, you've got T flashes, and you get yourself in a position where you get stuck. There's no assistance from Con, nothing out there from short, nothing that Angelo can do with the re-smoke down in window. The Sharks tried to make a full leveraged, aggressive start to the round, and it's unsuccessful for an opening kill. Gafolo has not been seen out here towards ladder, and it gets quite silent from the opening casualty.
Zera tries that one onto Koala, but Koala trades him back 4-on-4. Oh, trying to keep a good hold onto this round, but damage has certainly been done to that M4 player.
A lot of activity from the CT side. Not only have they gone for an info play where they've overextended towards the apartments, but they're now starting to do the same thing out there towards A ramp. Not only has Koala got another kill, but he knew that there was at least one more in apps.
Both sets of utility might telegraph a hit of some sort to come through. Got backup as well towards short in the ladder room. Turns attention away. Drop might get caught in the back still as Gafolo looks back in and does drop. Red Canids 20 seconds. They don't look like they're going to be going in for any sort of last second execution. They're going to hold on to their guns and save it into the next round. I mean, Sharks can get their first round on the startup here on the CT side.
Well done to Koala. Took initiative into his own hands when they lost RDN, and him and Cowers were teammates out on Furia Academy from March 2022 to December 2022. So coming up to 3 years later, you're now going up against one another to potentially eliminate one in the 5th to 6th position. Red Canids would have felt that they had a perfect beginning to the round. They had an opening kill, they had a lot of respect towards mid, but it was that overextension towards B, and that Koala managed to get 2 and still stay alive.
All right, Canids. Incendiary set as Angelo looks up with the AWP, but doesn't see anything yet. Set. But no one willing to make a move in this much of a direction for the Canids camp. It's just passive on these defaults here.
We might have a position in which ramp gets retaken from the Sharks. I mean, what we saw in the mid-round with their activity tells you that they're going to try and be quite positive on the CT side. They're not going to sit back and be stagnant. AWP gets mollied. Gafolo might have to try and help out his teammate with the re-smoke down from bottom con. Out towards B directly, you've got Koala more towards the short side, so not much that he can do in terms of fighting with the AWP.
Make their move. Koala does his best, but is ultimately overwhelmed by Cowers. Angelo's good for a follow-up responsive. Drop and Gafolo go back and forth. Gafolo looking for a second pick just ahead of that. Benz will lose his life, and Doc trades him, but now he's on half HP. Both players of the T-side are tagged, though. Now bombs in the open. Doc's been baiting. We'll look back towards site. HG comes in. He goes low, but still gets a second pick. With RDN to close the last, Sharks are truly in the game now.
Well, it's probably the worst case situation. Not only are you trying to dive out to the apartments, you get the trades down quite nicely. You deal with what Koala down there on the arch position. You deal with the AWP player of Angelo, but the bomb gets trapped. That one kill from the AWP drops the bomb in the apartments, and it's in no man's land. I would have loved to have forced that plant out, get yourself into a post. And Cowes is going in for a hero AK without much around it. I at least can appreciate the idea that Venom Zera's got some armor, so if that AK does fall, then somebody else can pick it up. But I think you know what I'm going to say here, Jay. I'm never a big fan of these kind of rounds if there's not enough investment around it.
You really are putting all your chips in on Cowes and hoping that he does something with it, so I can attest to your perspective. Canids. Slow as per usual. This T side is a very passive one, to say the least.
I haven't seen many A-lanes from them at all. It's been pretty much take mid, work underpass, and then MB in a lot of these rounds. And Kao has given himself a little off angle to fight against the jungle rotation. Gafolo only jiggles, that's clever. You don't want to be wide swinging any of these positions or just getting caught napping. If you can jiggle a lot of the angles, you at least give yourself the best chance of baiting the AK.
And once again, Doc and Gafolo get simultaneous kills in a connector. Dropping those pistol players. The Deagle Ponta comes up good for one pick back. Bomb not quite on site though. Needs to get crossed back from connector control. Ponta picked up an AWP and M4 in the hands of Drop. It's a 3-on-3. Problem is the HP and the Kevlar for Ponta and Drop, but Ponta's not going to stop. He gets that kill in. The CT spawn. Finally, Koala can train him. Dropping Kawes. Kawes the big threat. He's closer. He's got the armor and the AK in hand. Fights an RDN. Takes him. Maybe they might still see a performance round from this individual. Back's turned as Koala tries to hunt down his compadre. Drop was heard. Back towards the stairs. Tapping once for Koala. He's got Kir. He's got no smoke for cover though. Out in the open, fights on one. Heard the footsteps of the second. He's got all the info, but none of the kills. Kawes' triple will indeed steal the round for Red Canids.
And let's just remember for a moment here, Jay, Kawes has hero AK and armor. Venom Zera's got armor. Everybody else has got basically nothing. And Ponta, out of all the guys, he was the one that attributed the most. He walks through that palace smoke. He gets a single deagle kill on the bomb side. He then gets down there towards triple, picks up that big green, and gets the rotation towards spawn. That's not easy to do without armor. And you can give as much credit towards Cow as getting those trades and the impact kills towards Con. That round is not winnable without Ponta's impact.
Tactical timeout for the Sharks side. First one taken. And push back on the back foot very early into these proceedings, but I always thought a surge back has given them a breath of life. Unfortunately, our life is snuffed out with a single AK in the hands of the Canids. So 2 M4s on this follow-up buy.
You start looking at the position that Red Canids can find themselves in. They could start running away with this T-side now. Cow is fast, aggressive down towards underpass, and Doc is going to be able to find the first, but the second's going to be tough. That's always the problem with going underpass, isn't it? Is that you can take contacts, but you kind of need to keep fighting from that position onwards.
No one from Sharks in a position to swing back at underpass and grab that rifle as well. And it's not right now, maybe later when Venom starts moving elsewhere. Even then though, you have the map control by that point. AG's open the smoke. RDN sees nothing in mid, no contact established. Red Canids start rotation into the A play.
And it's a painfully slow T-side from Red Canids, and it makes you ponder the idea, at what point do Sharks start getting a bit annoyed by this, start making mistakes, start over-peaking? It's very difficult when you're going up against a team that's running the clock as much as these guys are. At least you've got a little bit of a gamble. You've got 2 players close towards A ramp, and then the M4 that can swing towards the top of stairs or jungle.
There go the 2 smokes to connect the jungle and stairs. Angelo fights on, finds that headshot quick. Koala flash blinded, does get a little bit of tag damage. Against sets of Angelo for a double and a triple deny with RDN's M4 instead, providing support. And it looks like Sharks may do onto Canids what Canids just did to Sharks. The HE sent towards Angelo is all a time stalling measure because coldzera hasn't got enough info, enough vision, enough contact to take these 3 down. With 10 seconds on the clock, he's going to save his gun and Sharks will bounce back.
I can't remember a single kill that coldzera has had so far out here on Mirage. He's been very passive. He's not been involved in trade frags at all. He's had the big green, but he's not been generating any opening kills. So you start wondering, how much is that AWP realistically going to bring to the table? The Sharks, just with the close range weapons, especially that 5.7, it's a difficult turnaround, isn't it? Because you're sort of sitting there on the lip of the box, you're looking down towards A main, and then you've got to turn almost 180 degrees and then start thinking about the verticality. And that's an excellent round for a multi-frag.
Huge stuff. So when Canids fell, they were on an momentum shift. Sharks answer back, and suddenly feel so red anymore. Once again, through momentum swings, the chance of Sharks to leap forward and start a surge in the lead. Both economies have invested rather heavily into this round as well. There's no savings. Pretty important one for both teams to win.
Yeah, coldzera needs to try and generate an opener out here towards top connector, and at the moment the CTs aren't giving him much. The Sharks are hanging back, the short player's not over-peaking, the triple player is not even in a sight line. It's basically just a jump spot out here from CT Ticket. It should be a B split. They should be able to smoke off Con, come in towards short heavy, and then regroup with the apartments players into B.
.40 seconds. Shot on for drop. He takes a kill alongside coldzera's AWP. Koala's SMG suddenly feeling very lonely, burning, and dealt with by a Deagle. Oh, we're going to go back and forth in this game. This is the competitive nature we were looking for out of this series on full display.
Well, you can just feel that the B players are a bit hesitant on where they want to reposition to. You've got players moving around on the bomb side. You try and get under window, you get caught by the util, and you just get slammed. coldzera gets an easy rotation kill, now even on the exit. And then you've got, what, an MP9 at the back of Van that has to hold off against absent short players? It's never going to happen. And that was quite comfortable. Maybe there just wasn't enough movement. Remember, that round did not feature a con smoke. And coldzera was basically just holding short with the AWP towards the connector sightline on A, and they could just scale. They could just keep contacting until the exec came in. Maybe if there was a bit more pressure on a jiggle, a bit more intent of fighting con or fighting window, it could have made the round uncomfortable for the T's.
And there's an uncomfortable fight for his life. He will just keep it in, though. No loss bonus for the Sharks, so they're going to try forcing back in once again. AK is going to be invaluable to them as a result from Mars SMGs on 2 scattered follow. Broken buys for them. They've done better with worse. Like I said, both economies are in trouble, so this is the perfect chance for Red Canids to reclaim the lead and to try and claim the half from here, honestly.
Oh, timing's awkward there for Cowes. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Very rarely do you see a boost up out there towards the B apartments, and he's just getting caught with util. Now, no one is watching Con right now, so there is a timing and an exploitation for the T's.
Walking forward to drop spot, Angelo seen heads into 2, takes down one of them, takes some damage in return. That HE a little bit off killed, so not even taking him. He gets his triple in the end as coldzera's caught in the back and drops caught in the open. Ponta, a 1v5 as we continue to go back and forth, blow for blow in these rounds. A 2-round sequence for Red Canids, 2 rounds for the Sharks, and now just one after the other, with no team able to truly pull ahead.
Yeah, the stunning rifling ability there from Angelo. I mean, I find it funny and even comical when you think back to the day. How many AWPers we used to have that were just rubbish when it came to rifles? I mean, look at JDM 10 years ago. Incredible with the big green. Give him a Galil, an AK, or an M4, and he can't do anything. His P250 was probably better. But in 2025, you just have to be strong riflers with the notion that you don't get the AWP that frequently, with where the economy sits, how much of a risk it is to always be investing into that big green gun. And that was a sick sequence, and he looked really calm out there on triple dealing with the con players.
Red Canids once again going to try and force the issue back, force out this war of attrition. And already drop has dropped to the hands of Docu and almost lines up coldzera. Third time's the charm. Not quite. The smoke's now faded, but Cowes will have to fight anyway. Tagged up to half, but does find the trade.
A little bit of ego peeking there from Sharks. I don't mind it because they're up against a weakened buy and they want to try and send a statement. They've just got to be careful from this point onwards. You don't want to be wasting these AKs. You don't want to be dropping loose players to a buy that doesn't have much at all. Still intent of searching, looking out there towards top mid, but not seeing anything. And now you can hang back. And for Red Canids, I don't really see how this round could be threatening. Unless there's an incredible timing where players have got their backs turned or caught with util out, you're looking at, what, double AKs that are already on half HP with one smoke left. You need a miracle to win this round.
Well, coldzera's got the right idea about the AK. Pass it off to Venom Zero because he's not taking any tag damage. Following off Boston in the connector. Right in the end, it's overwhelmed. Gafolo struggling. He gets one kill in, but Venom Zero's traded. Angelo, Orp on site. Pistol player, inbound. It's all timing. Ponta may catch him off, looking the wrong way. Sees it, shot missed. Oh, it's all falling to pieces. The miracle you're looking for may still not happen. Koala going for the sprays on coldzera, and he's just going to catch him. Bomb plant bonus is secured. Red Canids did all they could, and damn, they got away with it.
Well, it's frustration because you've done a lot right in that round. You've been able to disallow the short player that's getting a little bit overly aggressive. You've spammed the con player. You've dealt with the AWPer with a bait shot. That's a 3v1, and very quickly it gets out of hand. Now, this is unorthodox, but I think they need to buy here. I look at the notion of how you can force the reset, with how back and forth the streaks have been. There's not a huge amount of money, but I wouldn't mind seeing a complete buy from the T-side line.
We've got Deagles, P250s, Tech 9s. They're not going to go whole hog in this one. The Sharks will get to 6 at the very least. Half advantage for Red Canids will be denied. They will group and move towards this B bomb site in unison. 2 flashes for Ponta to set up for his teammates when they're ready.
Well, it's going to be tough because they don't have too much to get them into B. And knowing that there's a re-smoke from RDN, knowing that they're seeing nothing out in mid, I mean, he's going to re-smoke. This is a good timing.
Let's block that entryway. Now they're out of smokes. Coward Molotov in. Koala holds the balcony still. Gets 2 kills, 3 kills. 4 kills more. Ponta. He's going down at RDN. And it's 6-4 on the board for the Sharks.
And for Red Canids, I almost wonder, are we going to get a pace change from them? It's been such a slow and methodical T-side. We haven't had a single rush or pop set up. I just almost feel that that might just catch the opposition sleeping. One of those quicker maneuvers towards A. Get yourself the pre-smoke down against the A main molly. Do we get it from the in-game leader of Drop?
Koala's waiting. Ponta ready for first contact here in round number 11, Red Canids. And way out these smokes to clear and then make the moves off the back of that. They're also hunting for mid control, so it's to be a split A setup with the bomb still being out there at ramp.
And this timing could be good for Gafolo to be able to set up his teammate just on the edge of window. No, Drop was just in between the bottom con smoke, so didn't get detected in that one.
Gafolo's going to check con anyway. Oh, he's pixels away from being spotting, but he was spotted. The M4 close to Koala, can't get a kill. Ponta starts things, Drop will get caught. Cowheads will trade him back. The AWP is pushed away. Doc is low. RDN desperate to catch off Cowheads. The Molotov will go deep into jungle. He fights from the cubby corner, makes it a 3-on-3. Angelo also got a secondary frag, but he didn't hold on forever, and Venom Zero is allowed to cross.
Now, coldzera needs to try and get one before getting this bomb down. Now, they can plant open for CT just because of Venom's error. The issue is how much pressure is going to go against this rifler once the bomb actually goes down.
Smokes up. Deeper. Slight gap that might bait them in a little bit closer. So close. Sees Angelo. Takes him 2v2. Doc is an unknown, though. AWPer's watching for that con presence of AWP at the CT side. All down to timing and where they look at the right moment. RDN just caught cold, so now Venom Zero, his concerns are even greater. Flashbang forward, and the USP of Doc is more than enough to take him to 7 on the board as Sharks.
I mean, even thinking about Cold Zero and the AWP right now, we're just not getting any kills. We're not getting any round-defining moments. And you start thinking in history, how many players have realistically gone from being a good rifler into an AWPer? I mean, Automatic comes to my mind a few years back. But in the current day, you get a lot more AWPers that have transitioned into riflers rather than the other way around. I mean, to think how good he was as a rifler on the cusp of 10 years ago and to now see him AWPing, it just feels strange.
All right, Canids. Suffering in multiple regards. The performances to rifle basis of the Sharks. Bystay looks better for them. 4 Galils versus the full gambit of mainstay weapons. Here they come, moving up to Cowes, good follow. Held back, not aware of where Cowes is coming in from. Doc tries to get a little bit further to the closest and takes down 2 kills, not doesn't quite get the 3rd. Venom Zero able to respond. The bomb site's been taken, but RDN finds one from beyond that smoke. Bomb plan will to get secured, and Koala takes out Venom Zero. Cold Zero is all that remains, this time with an automatic. Holds his nerve, holds his position, and still gets domed straight in the head as Angelo will claim an 8-4 Koala on the defuse, but Sharks in control on the CT side. 4 rounds so they're good on the red. Canids deficit. Sharks are just looking like another lights out unit, despite some moments where it felt like Canids were going to contest. The Sharks continue to post themselves up coming into the T side now. Is there a way for Red Canids to turn it back around?
Well, if we're going off of the basis of how good Sharks have been in pistols, this is the way to start off the second half. Get on a positive note. Considering that this was a 4-3 advantage at one point, it was a real tasty streak of rounds towards the end of that first half. And Red Canids are going to have to dig deep. And at the moment, they are not even searching on the pistol round. Very defensive on B, very defensive towards A. Your Con player is not aggressive by any stretch. And Con is being smoked, which indicates that it's going to be a B split. But rather than going up short, they're going to get a boost into window.
USP of Venom Zera fighting first. Doesn't get a kill out of it, though. It's actually eventually coming in against Doc. So there's your start. There's your follow-up for Drop. Julie set in. Another set towards the other side of the apartment space. Double kill for Drop as Angelo falls next in. RDN caught off, taking down Cowes, but Drop continues to fire away. A triple for him in the round. Bottlenecked in the apartments here, Sharks. Gonna follow. Clutch that seems impossible. He does find coldzera at least, but Drop ain't done. 4 kills to close in the round, 10 in the map overall for him.
Just a bit of a shame that the Lurker's got nothing. Doc gets boosted up into window. He gets caught. Gafolo is trying to work out there towards Con. He also gets nothing. And I think when you're in a pistol round where you've got heavy Lurkers, they need to be able to exploit good timings. They need to catch CTs napping. They need to create open space. If they're not providing any damage, then it's going to make it very difficult for those apartment players, especially when you're running into Julies. Round 14 is not even going to feature a limited investment. It is Glocks for everyone, so it is the opening rifles to continue in the next rounds.
Well, there's 1 star for the Canids camp. But as you say, we need just this to be the start. They need a little bit more in general if they want to bring the comeback for realsies. Sharks on an eco should at least go up number 6. To their credit, they lost the pistol in the last half and building a 0-2 deficit, bounced back to equalise and eventually took that 8-4 advantage. So, as I say, only a start for the Canids, and the rifles come in the next round. Be the true test for the CT side.
Well, I'd like to see what coldzera is going to be like on the AWP on the CT basis. Being such an experienced player and someone that's played in ESL Pro League Season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, a little bit of a break, and then had 17 and 20. This is a guy that's been around for a while, and I'm looking at what he provided in the first half, and I was let down. Didn't really see much at all. Going into the second, I've got to expect a higher pedigree. I've got to expect more coming out of his input.
I'm just going for the list of his appearances in Pro League. Probably doesn't do it justice to coldzera, major champion, one of the best players in the world at several occasions. Sharks trying to test that notoriety, and they've done so well so far, but in this round, not so much. Doc and RDN down to some individual fights for Venom Zera and Drop. And Gafolo and Koala will get those trades in. Cowes is still in play though. Returns fire. Drop also not the victim of the latest trade. Bomb can't be secured. Pages against Gafolo will certainly do some damage. He gets away in this 2v3 post plant.
A deeper smoke out towards Spawn's going to make it a bit more awkward from Ponta and maybe drive him triple into Connector out there towards jungle. This is going to have to be a round in which time stalling is everything. And Angelo out towards default has got to be the main guy to fight.
Picked at the right moment. Stairs, flash is turned in. Molotov's out and does go down upon to Gafolo. Now to defend the bomb. And he must be out towards CT with that the smoke that comes in. The bomb defuse, however, the smoke doesn't go towards that. Instead, it's directed towards defaults. And Follow finds both of those kills, and the follow through to Canids looks stunning. 3 kills to his name, 33 HP on his board, and 3 to the good on Sharks.
I'm just noticing from the first half and the second half that Red Canids have thrown away way too many opening man advantages in the sense of 2v1s, 4v2s, round closures where it feels as if the ticket's already been created. You're already thinking about the next round before the round's concluded. And right there, somehow, some way, Follow kind of being forced in the open off of that tap, looks awkward in the duel but still hits the headshot. And this might be the reason why Sharks win the series. I mean, I'm looking at the scoreline, 9-6, up against a weakened bye. You expect Sharks to come out on top here. Then it's on the eco on the next. We're looking at an 11-6 lead. That's a massive scoreline. That is just death if you're Red Canids.
Well, they may be in trouble. They did well to keep the force buys going up and bouncing back against the Sharks side, but just, you need confidence, really. Some semblance of groundwork here. And instead, you've got an open M4 from Mars SMG and a 5-7 on Ponta. Quickly in the execution, gets jungle stairs, smokes out towards start. They look to try and hold. One player's picked over. They read the second. Oh, don't quite get there in time to deal with Venom's there before he does his damage. 3v3 set up by the Red Canids. Sharks, still the better weapons. But have the CTs given themselves a chance?
Flash forward into spawn. They're not going to go through the smoke, but they need space. Now, none of them are grouping towards jungle, so this tells you the T's are going to retake spawn control.
We'll just clear out the bins to ensure that nobody's going to be in a cheeky corner angle. No back and forward from the CT side. Doc struggles, as does Koala. And it's on Angelo now. Khalil in hand, 1v3. Bomb on his sights. Flashbang send does not affect him in the slightest. Running on top of the ticket booth. 2 to line up. 1 goes down. Oh, and the second's almost fallen as well. But Ponta will just hold 10 seconds on the stick. Should have enough time for it. Say that, actually. A bit closer than I thought initially. No, he hasn't got it! Oh, the time stalling's perfect for Angelo. He did just enough to bring the round in for the Sharks.
Now, something that needs to be rectified and noted from that last round, Jay, is the fact that coldzera was already saving. Those 2 players that were coming out there from spawn, they were having a crack at it. But the AWP wasn't in top con, wasn't in jungle, it was backing off towards underpass. So I almost feel that there's a little bit of hesitation in the call there. Are we going for it? Are we not? Get caught in 2 minds, and it's just too late to go. Surely there's a tactical instantly after that round, after what's happened in the last 2, just to mentally reset.
From the IGL, I'm certainly calling in one. Got to get those comms on point right now, because time is running out on Red Canids to make something happen on this map. coldzera is the first to drop on the CT side, did take Doc with him.
I don't even know what's happening in there in mid. I mean, that's just boneheaded. It's an AWP with a few upgraded pistols. Where's the support? Like, why has coldzera just gone in solo mid? What is he expecting there? He gets 1 kill and he gets traded. Oh, the AWP's gone now. Great. Like, we've got nothing. I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. I think this is just full tilt for Red Canids.
I mean, far be it for me to suggest a certain element of tilt involved for Red Canids now. But you are right. Why would you do that? I mean, you haven't even got upgraded pistols, actually, for the Red Canids. It's straight USPs.
Not even a flashbang. I mean, they could have invested something. They could have put some work behind that AWP to try and set up at least a multi-frag. Yeah, very questionable.
Facing a full communication breakdown. Red Canids will have a buy in the next round. Surely, at this point, you're looking at this buy state, this situation. Maybe RDN could drop. HE's already towards drop as he picks up that AWP and can't quite apply to the kill count. A bit closer for RDN, does drop him. Angelo responds back. Follow striking out in mid, going to ensure that secondary backup player not going to be a main factor. Then Zero can't land on the big green. And Cowes will also drop. So yes, a formality round for the Sharks in the end. 11-6 will be on the board. And the Canids have got to get their act together again. They have enough cash for a buy. Questionable for the AWP drop on coldzera. And yeah, they're not going to go glass cannon any other players to go ahead and do so. I'm really looking for a tactical here, though. The comms and the communication, the coordination, something's not going right here. Something to do with team play and who takes action and when. But the Canids are going to soldier ahead.
Well, considering that it was 4-3 up and you're now 6-11 down on your map pick, which is meant to be your #1 map in the pool, it's not a good sign. Doesn't look good. Numbers being posted are quite low. I mean, Drop mentioned it at the start, highest rated player when it comes to this map for this team, but it's only 15 and it hasn't felt like he's had a great game. And the numbers might say otherwise, but has he generated rounds? Has he been able to create multi-frags that have led to some significant moments in the match? Not really. The Sharks will look at things right now and say we are all over them. We are completely disrupting their whole style. And that's what happened in their opening 2 games in the comp. It's what happened against Keydstars. It's what happened again against 2Game. They just didn't give the opposition many chances at all.
This would usually be the point where I'd look into the maps and the details of the wins that Canids had and say, well, you know, at least they got, they got the wins, yeah, but they're going against lower level opposition, but that doesn't necessarily apply. Remember, they beat Imperial on this map. One sticking point in their campaign. Sharks. Higher ranked squads, slightly more reputable. Venom Zera and Cold Zera are overwhelmed on the A bomb site. At least they get 1 kill out of that particular exchange from Venom. And Cowards can trade Doc on the connect to contact against the Drop. The 2v3 for Ponto and Cowards in what is a must-win retake as well. Really not expecting it to go the way of the Canids can. The Sharks have posted up and they are ready to receive no matter what the Canids want to throw at the site. They put a smoke down closer. The bomb's in the open though. Cowards can see it. No kits on either player either, so time being short. Koala holds the bomb site, strikes at the right moment. Transition is spray between the 2K. 3 kills in the round itself and 6 map points for Sharks on Mirage.
And we know that the streak and recent run of form has looked quite promising for the Red Canids, winning 11 out of their past 15 best of 3s. You can sort of say the same level of form for the opposition. Sharks have won 10 out of their past 14. So you've got 2 teams that are ramping up. They're trying to peak at the moment. They're trying to go into this closed qualifier and show everything that they've worked on in the last couple of events or so. But for the Sharks, it's felt comfortable. RDN aggressive out there towards A main. Cold Zera with a teammate down towards underpass. Easy opening kill. And Doc doesn't even need to commit towards this. Does stay for a little bit too long, so it is a 1-for-1 trade in the end.
Flash forward. RDN gets ahead of the curb and deals the 3-for-1 trade in the overall. And that should seal the deal on this map. That should seal the deal on Red Canids on Mirage. Sharks continuing to pepper them, even with the York landing leg shots and Venom Zera. Kenny Cheese down on Ponta to keep him at half points of health as well. So this seems to be the end of the road. 13-6. A very simple opening map for the Sharks side. Not even on their map pick either. Red Canids unfortunately disappointing on their home territory as it's locked in by the opposition. Sharks look well poised in the lower bracket.
And if they lost this map, Jay, due to maybe clutches or one good swing round of the economy, I could kind of let it slide and say, all right, fair play, just got a bit unlucky, things went wrong. The idea that we're getting a lack of tacticals, the stylistic approach, much better performance than what we saw out on map 1, because it was just disappointing. This is meant to be a squad that have made upgrades going into the second half of the year, try and be in the conversation as a local team that can qualify to the major. I think you've got guys that have been there in the past, your Cowards, your Drop, your Cold Zera, guys that have been able to represent the region at the Tier 1 atmosphere. You've made the most recent changes, and if you go out here 5th to 6th without even giving your opposition for a run for their money, it feels very underwhelming.
And considering the issues we're talking about with the Canids coordination and the team play and the individual prowess, all the things that you need to have at least a decent level of, preferably in the team play department, to play a map like Nuke, some serious magic is going to happen in that 15-minute break, because I'm just not seeing it happening here. We'll see whether the Red Canids can pull one out of the hat. They're on the CT side. Start pistols alive for our second map of the series. And there's one thing that Canids had over the likes of Sharks so far. It has been those pistol wins. Julie sets. Cowards can drop the bomb carrier. Still a player down to the vent. He doubles up on towards RDN. Drop also took that player that dropped into the vent itself. Cafolo has fallen. So indeed, it looks to be another pistol win for the Red Canids. The 5-on-2 situation, you don't see Angelo or Koala bouncing back from this. Koala will be tested by 2 individuals. Zero against Ryan Bateman closer towards Mini, does hit that shot. Angelo all alone.
It's crazy to think that they had the best pistol win percentage in the entire tournament coming into this best of 3, and now they're 0 for 3 in pistols. Definitely doesn't look like a good sign moving forward in the entire best of 3 from that department. I mean, right there, it's a little bit unfortunate. You go in for a bit of a gimmick, you have your main lip smoke, you have your molly on the backside, you flash in, you just try and vent drop, and there's a Julie's out there towards top hut that is more towards the door side. So as soon as you come out of squeak door, you're just getting obliterated. You're getting stomped out before you can get down into the vent. So Sharks get nothing, Red Canids get a freebie. And realistically, I think they're going to be looking at probably 8 CT rounds in this first half. If they really want to try and contest map 2 and force it into the decider, I think they need to get an 8-4 or better.
Markers have been set for the Canids side, but the Sharks, I don't think losing the pistol has been all that much of a hindrance so far in the series, because think about 13-6 still, you lost both pistols. 4 of the 6 rounds of Red Canids came for the pistol in conversion, so everything else has been pretty solid for the Sharks in general. Yes, you can look at the pistol statistics and say and make all the regular sort of assessments that you would out of it. But in this isolated example, the rifles will come in, and I imagine that's where Sharks are going to post up their best game.
And look at Nuke and see that Red Canids have got 9 wins and 6 losses in the last 3 months on HLTV versus Sharks that have got the 8 wins and the 3 losses. Angelo playing just his 4th Nuke official. Koala averaging a 1.28 rating and Doc a 1.27 on this map. So watch out for those 2 guys in particular.
Outside control with smokes up against drop of the solo holder. Cowers getting caught in the up on site. Already down in the secret. Go the Shark side, making a lot of noise towards this as well. So that's information that will get called in by drop rotations on Ponta. Try to get towards the obs window. Can hear them coming as Famar stands to attention. Not even going to challenge him. Look instead towards Cold Zero. Doc just swings out wide and dry. Gets his pick. Ponta checked by Follow. He does land that kill in. Trying to look for Doc next up and does deal with the man 3-on-3. Still with that bomb carrier down here though. Angelo has no support around him and leans in with his back turn towards drop. He doubles up as well on Koala. And the Sharks definitely look like they were impressive with their placement and the pacing, but not so much in the finish.
Don't expect that many players down there on the lower bomb site. With the contact that comes in from the player rotating out to ramp, you just sort of start thinking about getting the bomb down, focusing on the crossfire, and then you've got a cheeky little Ponta out there on the observation window. Excellent double from him. Really good composure to not overpeak. As soon as he gets that first, transfer up to the second, and then just kind of tuck, get yourself in a hiding position, and then drop out there from ramp, makes it 2. That was Sharks feeling as if they had everything going for them. They had the space, they had the kills, and for RDN, well, there's not really much here. Saving onto the AK might have to be the only option. I mean, down here to the lower bomb site, you know that you're going to be up against 2 players.
One's close. He reads it well, actually. The exact positioning, and runs right past him instead. Ponta loams him at point blank. Sharks do not start this time in the rifle round after taking another half by concession. Decent damage done in the casualty game against the Red Cannon side. We need to keep those casualties up with these pistols. We want to try and go for a reset.
Ponta, the only player a part of the organisation of the Red Canids that has not previously been to an ESL Pro League. Everybody else has had that international experience, had that opportunity. Cowers returning to the util because of the vent drop smoke. Venom Zera just keeping his eyes down towards Heart.
Cowers deals with Koala in at the vent. Ponta doesn't quite get his 2 kills out of round, but does get one of them at least. Got to play with. The missed shot from Cold Zero on the AWP again. And pay attention towards him. He was bottom of the board during that last map up. Not a lot of great showings on the big green gun. Doc moves in. The follow's going to get seen. The rifler dropped. And Angelo alone.
Yeah, Cowers was in the very last season of Pro League with Pain Gaming. Would have felt that that was a great opportunity for him to basically push on with his career path. You go from Fury Academy to the call-up of Pain and pretty consistently got to play at Tier 1 tournaments. You now go over here to the Red Canids and, well, qualifications to lands are not going to be easy. ESL Challenger League was only a top 8. You qualifying to quite a few local lands, but that's only in Brazil. You'd love to be able to do just that little bit more, try and push them up the ranking. I mean, even Red Canids outside of the top 70 on VRS, not really a threat at the current moment of time. But threatening the start of Nuke, it's been a slow start from the T's, so they're going to take a tactical going into round 5.
The Pro League Season 21 was actually the last tournament that Cowboys had under Payne before they loaned him out to Red Canids. 12th to 14th finish. Something clearly wasn't working in terms of where they were at, considering the slowly dropping results in the S-tier events for that team. Sharks. Try and find something to exploit. And their rifles in for the 5th round of the game. 4-0 start for the Red Canids. HE sends the squeak door, smokes and molotovs forward of the mark. Going to try and force CTs into awkward early stances. Quickly out of the gate, they'll go into the rafters. Cowards going to get detected. The SMG of Venom Zero gets nothing, and the Sharks take a moment to readjust the pace, and this time far quicker than before, and works well.
No better feeling than when you execute A on Nuke and your util is just perfect. All the mollies have landed correctly, all the flashes have come in, and the timings has been good on when you accelerate out from door and hump. You've got your Sally player that's just completely blinded, a Venom Zero that was struggling out there from top heart. And Red Canids have got no other option but sitting back and holding on to the weapons. The Sharks, instant success once they use that tactical. And I think that's always a nice feeling if you're the coach, right? If you are the likes of Coachy, you've given a bit of insight, you've been able to slow the round down, you've been able to slow the game in, and you go in with a tactical mindset of a top site lean, something a bit quicker than what we've seen previously, and you just instantly win your first round on T side.
There's your start for the Sharks at last. Hopefully starting as they mean to go on here with the confidence. On that AWP on Cold Zero, Sharks are not going to be buying into any such big green guns here. The AKs are happy with. Money state is still pretty nice and defined for the CT forces with the safe call they had in the previous 3 players held over. Diag smokes. Can Cold Zero see above that smoke? Just barely, but doesn't take a chance to hit a shot until Gafolo's ball revealed. Lands in with a wallbang head. But Angelo trades back on drop. A lot of damage being done there, and it's a secret 4-on-4 ensues. Koala challenging Venom Zero. Venom Zero wins the fight.
And down to the lower corridors, you've got a tasty crossfire here from the CTs. RDN's got a timing to try and get back into main. Venom Sarah is going to re-smoke off door, but now they know he's up here towards Mustang. It's an easy spam against his feet.
RDN brings it into a 3v3. The AWP is still out there towards heaven. Smart call to put the Molotov in, try and drive him back. Keep him at bay, get a bit more time, force a regroup at a 3-on-3 in the retake. Red Canids will seek.
It's a tough post plant because there's a lack of util. Angelo is on low HP. They need to try and get him to fight against the main players.
Smokes in. Out of the rafters. I don't think that was intentional there. RDN, Doc in positions, holding, waiting for T-side contact. Cold Zero down, Towers down. Ponta leans in and goes falling the same to RDN. Sharks make light work of that hit.
Not really sure how they've lost that round. With the opening kill that Cold Zero was able to find on the outside, with the lurk kill that came in for the man advantage, it looks quite set. Looks as if everything's going right for them in the round. They've got themselves a 4 versus 3. Slight miscoms, perhaps, when the T's take secret but go up on the top lane. And Venom Zero is just he's a sitting duck out there on the top side, isn't he? He's got no help, he's got no crossfire, and just gets killed off easily from the main individuals.
Might have assumed they were completely done there on the upper bomb side with that kill against the lurker. That complacency will not get you any further, and theorizing comms issues and coordination issues from Canids over the course of the first map as well, so not a good sign in that round. Again, they have enough cash to afford all these rifles for another one on the buy, but the utility basis is already weakened. Only a handful of smokes, a flashbang, and incendiary to utilize. Sharks. Plenty more to work their way outside.
Well, what's incredible is that the side of Sharks has a better T round win percentage in the last 3 months of Nuke than their CT line. That's unheard of. Crossing out from Secret, and they seem to start just about getting a feel on how they want to display themselves. And it's an easy opening kill down towards the lower corridors, and well, this could be the round over entirely. I mean, Ponta is completely alone. Unless he multi-frags up, yeah, well, this round's over already because Drop's been caught on rotation. Great lineup for a moment. It's a shame that Ponta gets away with 2, nearly 3 kills, but it's still not going to be enough.
If it got that 3rd kill, then I think Red Canids start considering that retake. Like, just the funds not being there for them. And Sharks about to look to return the favor. But without having an even man situation, without being able to take an advantage, it seems not worth it. That's where those circumstances and the lack of cash will come back to bite you. Best to hold on to these 2 weapons and give yourself a slight little extra basis. Well, $2,400 going into their bank accounts, not being enough for the other players to buy in full. coldzera could still get hunted. He needs to protect himself. That is inbound. Shot does connect towards Koala. RDN doesn't get there in time. It's 3 to the board of the Sharks. Tactical timeout called by the Red Canids.
An opportunity to chat to the head coach of TGE, a player that used to play on Imperial way back in the day, but known for his coaching staff role on Paqueta, the B4 organization, and then 9Z. He was part of that 9Z team for Pro League Season 18 and Season 20 out on LAN. He's only been here for, what, a handful of weeks. 5 weeks or so, came in with Cowes and Ponta. Just to give a little bit of insight to the scenario, because it was a good start, a 4-0 beginning in which you didn't give a single bomb plant over towards the Sharks, and now you're starting to run into a little bit of a brick wall. And if you're not contesting these next couple of gun rounds, then you're probably not going to be contesting this map entirely.
We said 8 rounds is the right kind of scoreline for Red Canids to have a chance at contesting this map up, so at this point, assuming the realistic outcome of this one not becoming a steal for Red Canids, you have to look at going completely perfect from there. coldzera on the outside. Venomzera, he's on the outside, excuse me. coldzera is inside out towards Secret. His AWP shots connecting this time, but the other rifle has been taken out, and with that, Sharks know best to go in towards the upper bomb side. Drops become a bit of a linchpin element though. Strikes that P250, does he get a kill for it? Damage has been done rather heavily to Koala. Koala down to 54 as well, but neither man goes down. Man advantage stays and is extended by the Sharks side as Koala again close to getting killed off, but finds his pick out towards lobby. Drops grab that M4. Hunted by Koala. All out of timing right here over at the ramp. Caught dead to right, so one more exit to at least bolster things, but not anything more for the Red Canids. It will be 4-4 on the board.
I do feel for the CTs, because that's a pretty well set up round. You've got the enemy P trying to drive them away from Secret to force that trap into the A lane. You've got a P250 that does a lot of good work. Probably should be 1, even 2 casualties out there from the garage position. And in the end, you hold on to the AWP that you brought back in, you drop a few casualties. Look, you can be satisfied with that round. It's just a shame that not more gets generated. I'm looking at the Red Canids now, and I'm thinking, well, looking at their Nuke, Venomzera, averages a 1.18 rating. He's the top hut player. He's the A site anchor. He hasn't been too successful at the moment against the A execs or any sort of pops. And I'd like to see coldzera generate a bit more advantage in terms of the position at the start of the rounds. I think he's still been quite too defensively on this CT side. He might be 9-2, but it's a lot of exit frags and kills against anti-ecos rather than in gun rounds.
Drop. Can't support coldzera. Challenged by Angelo down on the smoke crosses. Finally, AK spray. RDN follows up with the top of Mini. M4 in for Cowes, using Ponta's distraction to get the trade frag against the man, but Doc returns on Venom's arrow out of heaven. Ponta dip back in from hell, get his man, look for a second, struggle to stabilize his spray. Similar story for Cowes on the bomb site, and now the Sharks have the lead. That minimum 8 is no longer possible for the Canids.
And this is where Sharks are starting to cause a real threat right now. They're getting a change of pace. They're getting a really good feel on their defaults. They're just working picks. I mean, right there, coldzera's out towards heaven, AC area. He just gets dropped. He doesn't even get a single kill. And maybe this is me being naive because I'm not watching this region frequently, Jay, but coldzera just doesn't look like an AWPer for me. I'm looking at how he's performed on map 1 and I'm looking on map 2. I don't know. Maybe it's an off day. It looks rough right now.
Even at his peak, he was a good secondary AWPer to Fallen. Unfortunately, that is not translating to a primary AWPer in the context of the Canids.
Especially when we've seen some really good AWPing across this South American closed qualifier. I mean,
yeah.
Angelo's been a pretty good AWPer for the Sharks organization. We look at someone like Try and what he's able to do there. Martinez. There is some quality AWPers in and around the top 6 right now.
And the Sharks with no need for AWPs at the moment. The rifles of the T side, the automatics, are about to win the minimum 6 on the T side itself. And in fact, given the circumstances, could well try and stretch to an 8-4 of their own.
And could we say that that was the best tactical timeout you're going to see all day? 0-4, use 1 tac, haven't dropped a single round since.
And the momentum swing has been well and true the favour of Sharks. coldzera, at least make an expensive round, can't quite turn on Angelo, so there's 4 casualties. And typically you would say, well, that's decent for an eco, but expense at this moment doesn't mean much when Angelo's on $10,000. I think the follower was on $12,000 before he invested.
And this is going to be a tough matchup for someone like Venomzera because him and Gafolo were teammates from August 2022 to January of 2023 under the Paqueta organization. You're now going up against one another, and for Venomzera, he's just having a tough time. He's not generating anything towards A.
RDN and Koala have been tagged up. Cowes trying to lean forward with his AK. Sharks sprays, trying to get involved, trying to get engaged, doing a little bit of damage towards Cowes himself. RDN and Koala now get formed up with the rest of their teammates, except for Gafolo, still playing on the outside. Cowes with utility in hand, perfect chance to swing and punish for RDN, but he doesn't get it. Doc gets the trade. Venomzera in the rafters, trying to hold off on his lone again. He gets 2 kills out of it. Third man feeds himself the sequence, and Red Canids look for a silver lining near the turn of the half.
Well, that's a little bit more like it. That's never an easy position to hold when you're going up against door players because you've got nowhere to move. You can't drop down, you'll lose too much HP. You just need to slightly be able to strafe left and right and have good crosshair placement, and he has farmed the door players coming out A. And that gives a bit of self-belief, a little bit of confidence to the young man.
Sharks. Outside control access for Doc. Drops home, drop in. He takes a fight against Cowes. Drop only barely gets in with that trade. Other action from other T-side presence, particularly down over at the entry towards a secret. Koala, meanwhile, working the upstairs. He just caught vision in the AWPer through the small gap in the silos. Gets his kill in. Meanwhile, on the B side, they look to put the bomb down. Drop extending in against them. The plant is denied for the time being. RDN going to wait. Backstabs rolling in for Koala's part. The AK making noise. Drop takes him. He's on for 3. And now 4 kills in the clutch. He's rushing down. RDN is not giving him the info he's looking for. Incendiary comes in close though. He's got an inkling. RDN's going to burn. Drop's going to hear it. Look towards Dark for a headshot. A spray through and a burst. Fire! That brings home the clutch. A massive one for him. And one that indeed brings back that silver lining for Red Canids. Dead set even. 6-all at the turn of the first half. It's all even up as the Sharks move to their CT side on their map pick. They are on Nuke. Red Canids did well to bring things back to an even stance, but was that enough to work?
Probably not. I think last time around it was a 5-7, and we saw the likes of Sharks fairly comfortably getting the job done, getting it over the line with that 13-10 marker. Now on the outside, you've got a little bit of a scale. You've got a P250 armor from Cold Zero trying to attack this main player to start. Nobody else has really shown too much vision. It's been very silent from the Red Canids.
Engages of Doc towards the outside, been pretty accurate with some of his shots so far today on this map. Not on this occasion, though. Noise being made downstairs as Koala starts to move on towards the vents. Seeing 3 players, including the bomb. Got a teammate back in the observation window, but peeks into a vertical crossfire. The Venom Zero and Cowards can capitalize upon with 2 kills of their own. Doc dealing with the upper side man, but there could be a bit of rotation from the Red Canids camp. They're indeed going to make that happen. Doc's going to get overwhelmed, going to follow Goosh down. RDN was ready for a B here, but now he's left kind of a bit out-positioned. Bomb plant to be secured, so Red Canids, it's another pistol win.
0 for 4 in pistols for the Sharks. It's got to be killing them because it means that there's so much more pressure and so much more emphasis on winning opening gun rounds and getting on top of the economy if you're just never getting good starts. And Gafolo is going to try and see if he can get a little bit of extra damage, but it's unlikely. A 7th round comes in from the Red Canids, and, well, that's certainly their specialty across this series.
I mean, just to put it into perspective of how much these pistols have made a difference to their game, the first map could have ended 13-2 without the pistol wins that Canids took. And similar story right here, we could be potentially looking at an 8-4 half for the Red Canids. Oh, sorry, for the Sharks, I should be saying. Canids, of course, losing the pistol in that particular scenario, but the fact that they've taken it now means that they're in the lead. The first time since their 4-0 starts. Basic USPs across most of the board of the Sharks. Only 1 man upgrading to a P250 stack to cap packed and grouped, to should be more specific. Moving together to try and hold that A-bomb, so hoping the Red Canids give up a few rifles, preferably the bomb if they get lucky.
And Cold Zero is edging ever so closer to 2,000 maps played on HLTV. He's currently sitting at 1,986. You'd imagine a few more best of 3s and he'll be able to get it. And that would be quite an achievement. There is very few pro players in history that have been able to achieve 2,000 maps.
The number coming into this series or right now?
Right now he's at 1,986 if we're including Nuke.
So even in the best case scenario, I won't be seeing it in this qualifier, but maybe the next competition for the Red Canids. I know they're playing in the Circuito event. Yes, in spite of our criticism of him as an individual performer, a legend of his own right, and his history in the game. No legends required to deal with this eco. Sharks have not contested. Standardized formality, 8-6 round for Canids.
Yeah, Cowards on the outside just needs to make sure that that AK is not being dropped, so that's why he's starting to reposition pretty quickly. And for the Sharks, I have got a good inkling in this first gun round that we will see instant success from them. It's all about making a statement early, all about getting this game wrapped up. You've got a series that's going to come up in, well, depending, a couple of hours. I mean, it looks as if you've got 9Z that are on the bounce back. Look to try and see if they can take map 2 of that series, force it into the decider. If you would be the Sharks and close here in 2, you can give yourself a little bit of a break in that one. It's going to be a tough day, whether you do get that 9Z organization or the PKL and Hardzao duo out there on 2 game.
Giving up today without that 9Z 2-game matchup plays out if it does finish before ours does, although I will say likelihood doesn't seem all that probable. Smokes in, SMGs fight for Gafolo, who strikes first for the Sharks here in this round, but Drop and Ponta are in with the responses. Doc making his way through the mini smoke, almost got Ponta. The HG's come back as Koala and Angelo chime in, but Angelo's traded. Koala is known. A 1v2. All players on high HP, 100 for both Cowheads and coldzera. coldzera goes down. The bomb is in CT control. The AK now swapped up to where is Cowheads come from, making noise, dropping off the top of the heart. Pre-fire from Koala, well placed, but he's still low HP. The nade down there gets him, and he gets so close to the kill of his own, but Cowheads survives it, and 9 points of health. It's 9 on the board for the Red Canids.
Ooh, that's a tight round, and if you're Sharks, you'll probably be frustrated in yourself because the Anchors didn't particularly do too well there. The top hut player gets one, but then gets traded. Your door player gets nothing. And then Doc, who's trying to go through that main smoke, they're already low HP. They don't have much between them. That should be an insta-kill. That was sloppy. And Koala, the ramp player, had to basically pick up everything himself. He had to get the ramp kill, get the kill against coldzera and Hut, and then try and finish off the last of Cowheads. But the economy is close to a reset. The money in the reserve is not great. The loss bonus isn't there. If they can keep this damage up, even on the anti-half buy, you can get close towards a reset potential in the next gun round. But that is a real missed opportunity if you're Sharks.
Can't afford to sustain the full buys again. They're not even going to force the issue. It's a half invest for this one. Red Canids finally finding their turnaround here. Utilities in. Mac 10s go out. RDN. Doc, Cafolo going to get overwhelmed in an instant as the pace starts to favour the opposition. Number 10 for the Red Canids camp. 4 to the good on their part. The Sharks on another rifle round. That may well be their last chance to answer back.
There's definitely a lot of pressure against them, and I would say from a tactical perspective, something that certainly needs to be worked on is their pistol rounds. Because let's just be honest with ourselves, even if you go 0 for 4 and win this best of 3, if you go 0 for 4 against the better teams, if you have a series where you're losing a lot of pistol rounds to a Legacy or an Imperial, you're just going to get backhanded. Those better teams are going to criticize those poor and important rounds that aren't being converted. It has to be something that's worked upon, because you can feel the difference that it's making out here on Nuke. Yeah, we can sit here and say it didn't make much of a difference on map 1. Map 2 is a different case.
We are game on in this best of 3. Sharks. In desperate need of a round win. The Canids will not take the same pace. Got the AKs. A Mac 10 to contend with York, the M4s and a FAMAS. Or with Angelo. So hungry for a kill on the outside. Koala may get a lot more than he bargains for here. A ramp button first. Second almost goes down. Ponta's low HP. Angelo in the free position with York in his hands. Molotov forcing him to burn significantly. Doesn't end up pulling the trigger. May not have had enough time to get that kill in. Cowheads meanwhile on the flank. Both backs are turned. He struggles to get that first kill, but gets them both in the end. And once again, distraction pulled in by one player. Has allowed a second to insert. Now they've got free access to that A bomb site and that B bomb site as well. Both players cannot defend the entryways. All they can do is hunker down on the sides themselves and pray to God they get a miracle sequence.
It was just pure hesitation there from Angelo. He doesn't know whether he should sit behind the flames or whether he should sit in them. And when you hesitate in that moment, you're going to get capitalized. Gafolo has just got 0 chance. I mean, even if he gets 2 kills, it's not going to be enough because you've got the main split, a third player up in heaven. It's just going to be a save from Artie out. There's nothing. Gafolo is going to attempt his very best. That FAMAS gets the first. Drop and coldzera can fight together. Nothing. Red Canids will be able to get up to 11, and Sharks, they are getting seriously desperate now.
Number 7 denied. 11 instead for the Red Canids, and honestly, this looks like a map 3.
Definitely does.
Red Canids have not conceded one in this second half. Sharks go from the receiving end of a system collapse to now the other opposing force doing it unto them. There's just no way forward for the Sharks, it seems.
They're just losing too many gunfights, aren't they? I mean, you look at even the numbers being posted. Everyone's on single digits outside of Koala. Out there towards ramp, it's a 1-for-1 trade. The AWP gets nothing. Cowboys on the outside gets an easy couple because the AWP is pressured and they're trying to rotate around. They're just not hitting the shots that they should be landing. It means that Red Canids can just steamroll their second half of Nuke.
Another buy up here for the Sharks. Desperate for this force up to turn in to success. Cowes leading them towards the outside. Top fragger in server right now. Losing Venom Zero as Doc takes him. A bit of a quiet spell over the course of this map. He was hitting some very good shots in the opening few rounds, but only 8, including that just one just right there against Venom Zero. Set towards outside for more contact to replace. Red Canids have access towards Secret. The bomb is known to the Sharks. It's dropped in the open.
They've got really good space. They've got players at the back of Team Red, one down at Secret. Pontar, that's unlucky. You're out there towards the open vent corner. You haven't seen anything top main. You haven't seen anything out there in heaven. Nothing towards Mustang. You feel that you've got a really good timing to basically win the round by yourself. And as soon as you start walking out, that hut player, the A-side anchor, just starts moving and overextends the line.
Angelo catches Cold Zero off guard. He drops next. AK of Cowes. A launch-side drop, also getting a couple picks back to return. Makes it a bit more manageable. It was a 5v2, but now 3v1. As Koala gets dropped, Cowes with one pick. The HE of Koala will deal with him from range. But won't use the one AK. Actually, Koala doesn't get to the second one in time. But survival on Nuke for the Sharks for now. But just for now.
Red Canids even picked quite a bit of Nuke. Look at their map pool. They've played just over 20 best of 3s in the last 3 months on HLTV. And Mirage and Nuke is their #1 and their #2. So even though we know that Nuke is a very good local map for the sides of the Sharks, and we know that they've got a really good winning streak on it as of late, it's not surprising that Red Canids have got a good foundation on this T side. Venom Zero out here towards Hut. You've got the door player. Very light on the outside this time around from Cowes. Not having mass teammates around him.
Facility at the ready for the CT side line on their defensive as Red Canids will take their movements up and outside. Smokes on, the red box cross, no information picked up by the Sharks there. Leave RDN on the lower corridors defensive as the rest of the CTs continue to hold upper and A. And ramp control, of course, for Koala.
Not a huge amount of time here from the Red Canids, so they need to start getting a move on to either faking the top site lean and going ramp or just committing to the top exec completely. Gafolo's got an incendiary. Now, if it is a top site lean and that incendiary goes down, it's probably going to have to be a cancel and drive those T-side players into ramp instead.
Venom Zero starts off with the kill count. Angelo can take one back. The bomb's going to drop in towards the vent, but RDN is ready to receive it and drop him. I think you saw Cowes as well. Back will be turned, all timing. For Master Koala has now detected. He's lost his life 10 seconds. Cowes still goes down, and RDN continues his spray. The transfer on a 3K. And with that, we're game on Nuke once again.
And this is where Sharks just need to start getting into a little bit of a flow state at the moment. You've got yourself a position where the AWP could not have been any better placed than out there towards heaven. Players are coming out a door. It's an easy opening pick. You know exactly what's going on. Because there's so much contention on that top site, you drive the T's into the vent. And then for RDN, he probably didn't even need to get all of those kills. With how low the time was going to be and with how quick that ramp rotation was, there was no way that that bomb was going to get picked up, go out towards a single door and get planted. And Red Canids might have to take a tactical because this is now turning into a couple of rounds in a row and could be more from Sharks.
Koala. Zero spray does damage to the second man. We're getting the first. Ponta can just about trade him at 13 points of health, though he's extremely low. Angelo can't hit his shot. RDN's backed up on the bomb side defensive. Flashbang's inbound. Doc's going to deal with the player in secret, hitting his shots once again. RDN comes up with nothing, and coldzera takes down Doc the same. He's so low, as is Ponta. Angelo, if he can swap to an automatic weapon, this becomes a very doable retake. But close quarters against Ponta. Is he expecting this man to be so close? Yes, he is. Jackson shot back. 2v2 now. AK upgrade. Look towards the rafters, but no. Drops him. And Gafolo, they get baited into that position. coldzera not watching, not visualized. Gafolo swings out in the open, sees his contact, gets his kill. But where's Cold? Did he make noise? Not 100% certain. Taps it. Looks towards double. Looks towards dark. coldzera swings and he gets his headshots. And now he starts fragging. The all-important frag that gets Red Canids on map points.
And all it takes is a highlight from coldzera on a rifle to realize and to rectify that he's a stronger rifler than he is at AWPA. And that's an insane round from him. A really good opening kill down there on the lower bomb site. Great transfer to the rotation out towards the vent player of Calwes that got caught in secret. It just rotates down. Doc gets caught after that first. And then low HP, try and play the time. It's a difficult kill to hit. And he makes it look so damn easy. And unfortunately for the Sharks, I mean, knowing that this could very much well be your last round of Nuke, you'd at least like to have a decent buy. You'd at least like to have M4s out for everybody, but instead you're working with a scout for Angelo, a couple of MP9s, a FAMAS, light util. That's an awful investment.
Need some major moments out of these individuals, out of this squad, if they want to try and answer back to the Red Canids.
And just noting that we've gone 0 from 4 in the first half and 0 from 5 in the second. We might sit here and say, Jay, oh, yeah, but it's only the pistol rounds that have been lost that have led to that. Yeah, but that's still 9 rounds. And that's still 9 unanswered beginning starts of the first half and the second half. To get to 12 doesn't feel that difficult when you've already got 9 from there.
The Canids. Four chances to take us to a third map. Something we didn't think feasible at the start of Nuke, given how well Sharks had performed on Mirage, given how dire Canids had looked at the end of it. But this second half has been something to behold. The 5-round streak to set them up. Sharks just bounced back, not going for long enough. Their own pick in the series may still fall by the wayside. Last chance to into OT. Flash forward. Doc starts things off.
Yeah, Doc is not falling down towards Secret, though. He knows on a weakened buy state that he could be on for more. And I like the mindset there. Rather than just falling back and playing the man advantage, you know that we've still got MP9s. So I need to sit here and I need to really deliver in this position.
And that M4's had a lot of impact. Now it's up to the FAMAS, the Scout, and those aforementioned 2 MP9s. One of which is on the upper bomb site. Gafolo with the FAMAS of RDN. Scout on the outside. Koala playing inside of ramp in case they do go from lobby towards that B side. 23 seconds though. If they're going to go, they have to go right now.
It has to be A, and it has to be contact. Gafolo is pretty much in a position where he can end this all round by himself.
15 seconds. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. The 10 seconds marker is going to be the man going down. Venom Zero, Cold Zero, all picked up by Gafolo and Angelo, who hold their positions and hold Sharks in this game.
There's two real good chances to close. Maybe one good chance and one average chance. There's going to be a full eco here. It shouldn't see much investment in round 22. Round 23 is going to be the good buy. I mean, they're forcing here. This is a tough call, especially without a tactical. I kind of like that they're forcing without the tac because it doesn't give the moment for Sharks to reset and come up with a game plan for the next round.
They're going quick. Koala's SMG better not get overwhelmed real quick, and indeed he does. Ponta to get credited with the kill. Angelo struggling to stabilize the spray towards one man. RDN and Doc are on the scene. He lost all manners of map control. Doc can only take one pick out of it. The SMG from range. The MP9 busting through and not getting anything. Venom Zero just took 2 outs. Angelo and Gafolo down a man. Red Canids pick up the pace. Sharks were not waiting. They're not ready for said pace. Angelo desperate to get Cold Zero, and it's not going to happen for him or Gafolo. Red Canids with a Tech 9 rush by have taken us to a third map.
But Koala, the ramp anchor, just got caught napping there, didn't he? He's got util out in the open. He doesn't have his weapon drawn. There's no worse feeling as a ramp player when you get rushed and you can't even get a single kill. Red Canids, their most played map, picked map, I should say, in the pool in terms of the recent few tournaments. So even with how the game's gone so far, I still have a lot of favoritism towards Sharks in this decider, especially with how good some of their wins have been recently. I mean, we're talking about back-to-back 13-4s, 13-6s, 13-1s, 13-7 in there. There is that one loss against the Red Canids, though, only a few days ago, and that will be in the back of Sharks' mind.
Yeah, I want to try so they can return onto that. They haven't lost it so far here in this competition. The 2 game and Keat Star series both feature this map, and it was pretty proficient and dominant from the Red Canids. They've also had their dominations over the course of the Pro League qualifier, 13-5 over Odic in their MS3. So don't count them out, especially with their resurgence. But you're still favouring Sharks. I'm still going to go in their direction as well. The Canids are on the T side to kick things off in the pistol.
And now on the other best of 3, 2 game were up 11-8 on Train in that second half. 2 rounds from closing in 2-0, and they have choked Jay. It's going to a third mapper, so we still don't know who the winner of this series is going to take on in the next round.
And look forward to those updates as and when they come, although this series looks like it's going to be the first one to finish. Doc is finished in the pistol, drawn out first blood against by Ponta's hands. Now the B here looks to come through. They're going to put the Molotov down towards the Z entrance. Koala is the only man to hold. Seen there towards the Heaven individual. And look down range, was only a pixel away from spotting a player beyond that smoke. Bombs now on site and will get planted. 5-on-4 for the Red Canids, although Koala has just taken drop down, so that exposed bomb plant position can enable a chance for them to turn it back on his head. Sharks will take the man advantage.
I'm not really sure how the plant has gone down. You've got a great flank to come through from Ponta, but it all depends on whether they can stay alive out here near the bomb train.
Koala's chimed in again against Venom Zero. 3 kills to him, who single-handedly brought this round back from the brink. Will he hold on forever? Angelo certainly won't. He's been picked up by Ponta in the bad lines, and the backstab that's coming in. They're exposed towards CTs from all angles. RDN and Koala hold their nerve. Koala with a 4K. The only reason why Sharks will claim their first pistol in this best of 3.
Well, there's no better way than winning your first pistol than to do it in a way that you probably should never have been able to. That's an excellent looking post plant there from Red Canids. You've got 2 players pressed up underneath the little stair out in con. Somehow, the bomb is just not going down safely. It's going down on the side train, so the spam can come in from Koala. It then draws players out in the open. Cold Zero should be in a really good post plant out there in Heaven. You've got a wrap coming through deep in CT from Ivy. That round could not have been set up any better from Red Canids, but it was that bomb plant denial. That's what made it uncomfortable.
I don't know why the decision was made to plant towards the side of the train, but that one mistake cost the Red Canids the start. And think about how much that pistol meant to them in the second half of Nuke. how much has given them a little bit more decency over the course of this series. All 4 pistols prior to this map were taken by the Canids. Trend broken at the hands of the Sharks. Now they can turn up the heat on CT side, but they'll face the Force by first.
For Sharks, they're constantly putting emphasis on re-smoking this T-Con area. They're trying to make it awkward for the default, try and limit how much map control can get gained by free for the Ts. It's a very passive line of engagement, though. Pop Dog is not being contested by the CTs. They have no aggression out towards the Brown Halls, no one close towards Olaf. So they're looking at this anti-force buy round and they're thinking, let's play the range game. And let's give respect of map control.
40 seconds on the clock.
It's a great re-smoke.
Yeah, perfect timing. Red Canids were about to make their way into the outer bomb site, and now Angelo can set up to counter them. Nades coming in, flashes go over. Angelo will spray from range. It's a Doc, excuse me, sprays from range. Angelo's closer, taking Ponta, swinging back to see 2 more individuals. Not sure who to aim for, so Doc can take 1 back, Drop can take 2. coldzera's Deagle takes 1 back out of 3 required in the clutch. He will not get the second man. 2-0 start for Sharks.
And I'm looking at Train, and not just so much from the win rate, Sharks having 7 wins and 3 losses in the last 3 months against the Red Canids of 5 wins and 4 losses, but I'm looking at the CT round win percentage, really high from the Red Canids side at 66.3, making it the highest round win percentage out of any map in the pool for them. So I'm thinking about this first half and the potential scoreline they might be able to find to transfer over towards that second. And the Sharks will get a freebie out here in round 3. The best that the Ts can hope for is what? A couple of kills, make it a little bit expensive.
Yeah, best. Ooh. Kills look like that, though. Might provide a little bit of something more here. Angelo's going to grab that M4 quick. And need that if those are the range fights that Ponta's taking. Drop in a similar position as well there towards Ivy. Angelo's going to wait for them. Another passive line.
So Red Canids are grouping, which is the right way to play around like this. Yeah, it might not be Tech 9s and P250s and its Deagles. You want the long range, but you also want to be in trading positions. Right now, Sharks are still not bringing too much activity. They are watching Ivy very passively out here from Hell.
Slowly walking up. Canids will have to contest. The smokes continue to come down T-Con, so coldzera have no access. Angelo fights finally. Kill on 1 and 2, not quite the 3rd. Eyes are drawn away from that T-Con position, but no action from coldzera, and actually he's starting to act out now. A concern for them. Gafolo does turn back and deal with his main threat. Ponta found by Koala. Drop again, can't quite get the 3rd kill, or the 2nd kill rather, in terms of that clutch. Still 2 players alive for the Sharks though, so Canids have done a lot of damage. When the rifles come in now, they find themselves with a chance to reset.
Well, you wonder at what point are we going to get an A explosion, get players with the sandwich smoke crossing out on the red train towards the right-hand side and trying to hit that electric position quickly. Yes, for Red Canids, it was a very slow T-side on Mirage. They had some quicker rounds out on Nuke, but it wasn't a pacey best of 3. Angelo trying to get the pre-smoke in to go for the aggro duel with the AWP towards Pop Dog.
Hit some weights. Shot connects. Venom's era is down. Incendiary's come up. He tries to face on Drop, but Drop will return fire to a 4 versus 4. And Doc is going to try his luck against Cowards past T-Con. Neither man sees each other. That smoke directly fading. HEs will do some damage, but Doc will still try to spray. Nothing gained in that blindness. While leaning forward, placements, everything. Drop, not quite ready for him either. Both players back.
Bit of a misread at the moment. The only A player is just out in the open, so CTs are going to start rotating in, but there's a lack of info. coldzera's hoping for a re-aggro. He's hoping that Pop Dog's going to get retaken by the CT line, and at least they're gambling correctly.
Sharks move to A as Red Canids start pressing on towards B. There will be no Pop Dog retake, at least not in time for coldzera to shut it down.
Should just be an instant save. They shouldn't even look for exits off of this.
Yeah, most likely, like I said, reset potential for Red Canids here. Bomb Plum will come in for free. Not even using utility to the execution. They will put some Molotovs down now, but took the site dry. Take the round just as dry as well. Sharks not rotating, not going to go to retake positions. Stick around maybe for some exit frags here and there. Grab the AWP in particular for Follow, but certainly not a round win for Sharks. Red Canids will be on the board.
And we've got to expect a decent fight between both of these teams on Train, because I'm looking at the map pools. The Train is the most picked map from Sharks, and then for Red Canids, it's the third most picked map. So both of these teams, on occasion, depending on the opponent, are picking it in. I mean, for the Red Canids, they picked it against Odic, no worries whatsoever. They've actually decided to change their map pool quite a lot when it comes to this individual tournament. They picked Ancient against Flamingo, they picked Mirage against Imperial, they picked Train against Odic. So they're showing that they've got options, that they're not just limited to the same map over and over again. That's a good start on the T side once the guns finally come up. Now for Angelo, it was an aggressive start to the round. He pre-smoked the molly that was going to come in from Tikon, got himself out towards Pop with the AWP. You wonder if that's going to be something that he wants to try and generate in terms of a style. Just always pressurizing, always working an opener.
Canids. Slow to the uptake. We've gone from a slow-paced T side to a fast one and back to a slow one again over the course of this series. And the rifle round, it did work out better for them, but given an opportunity for Sharks to start to press on and try to take map control of their own round. The AWP in with a shoulder shot on Drop, and that's enough to get the opening kill for the CT side.
Well, if Drop was there, it tells you that they were lining up util for the top site lane. So that's why they're not over-rotating mass players out towards B. And Resmoke goes down. coldzera trying to entry out there with Venom Zero. There's still another player on B that they don't know about, though.
coldzera's going to check for it, though. Look towards the other side. I haven't heard that drop-off, though. Incendiaries will block them. Venom Zero's wary.
Easy read. I mean, there's no pressure building out here towards the brown halls from heaven down to ramp, so you just stack up mass players towards A.
Doc's giving up his life here. Cowers an impressive shot. 15 seconds. Bomb carriers behind him, though. Angelo's good for one pick back. Orp coldzera trying to respond. 9 seconds. He does get Angelo. Koala swinging in, baits in the AWP shot, gets his pick back, looks to face on the Pontar, and just with the last bullet of the mag, come up with the kill in 3 seconds to spare.
Well, it certainly wasn't a clean round there from Sharks, but tactically, I'm liking their reads right now. The extension that Angelo had out towards Ivy tells you that they're confident to make solo info moves. And then out there towards B, it's just easy there for Koala. You know that even though there was pressure and there's a 1-for-1, mate, there's nothing coming. There's 30 seconds on the clock and they're not powering me through ramp. They're not trying to overwhelm me from heaven. So it may have gone back and forth with the trades, but they knew that it was going to be the A site lane.
Venom Zero supported by coldzera. The AWP shot baited. The second man seen. Has a ton of info for RDN if he doesn't get the opening kill, but Venom Zero swings into catch Dog. They're down by a man. The pace picks up for the Red Canids. Koala's for Mars. It's holding. Here's Cowes. Come in, swings in with a spray and gets him to a 4 versus 4. Double dips to spot a second player at Olof. RDN going to try and catch off his backup as Ponta will fall. coldzera is the next big concern for that man at main. You're put to face against the rifle individual. Now he's pinned in a corner, trying to bait in the shot to miss. The SMG at close range for Follow. Turn back on towards Drop. He's now got health contention. The bomb dropped in the open. Koala on the flank. They'll lose Follow, but RDN takes Drop. And coldzera's on a 1 versus 3. It's organized chaos that Sharks are on top of. And they're looking for number 5 on the CT board right here. Cold Zero's got a Glock pulled out against the M4. You got no chance.
Yeah, just getting absolutely farmed. And if you are the Red Canids, they probably need a tactical to realign how they need to work some of these mid-rounds. I mean, let's just remember, that was an opening kill. They had the AWP getting baited out there towards Ivy, but just from pace alone, that Galil got the opening entry towards Hell. Anytime you can control the back lines and you've got an opening kill towards A, you should just be able to crunch. You should be able to overwhelm from T-Con, from Sandwich, from Hell out there towards Camera, and they just can't. You've got the FAMAS that was a bit annoying out there towards Pop. Players in the back on rotation from Spawn doing quite well from RDN. 5-1. I mean, let's just remember, every half was always a positive start, wasn't it? From whether it was Mirage to whether it was Nuke. First half, second half, we were always seeing beginnings of rounds. Now, we finally get a pistol round win from the Sharks, and it's a 5-1 score. It's them that are making an example out of it.
And they're running away with the CT side, much like they did in the last train head-to-head back at that Odyssey Cup event. It was an 8-4 CT side half from Sharks that they started off in that series. And that was with the pistol conversion and eco being won by Red Canids. They don't have that luxury anymore. And you start to get somewhat concerned. Looking at 6-1 right here, potentially 7 and 8. If the rifles go well for them, Andro's going to make light work of pistol players here. Ponta down, Venom Zero does catch that AWPer off. And Dog gets pushed on by Cowards. No one saw that coming. Not even we did. RDN forced to respond towards one player. Cowards still a major threat. Tagged to 25, edge of the smoke. He will get caught and put back down for Sharks' advantage.
Cold Zero might be able to create a pathway towards B. The issue is, drop is so far away. And even on this timing is being seen at long range. So Cold Zero now just has to try and be a bait. Has to just try and hold for as much time as possible and hope that he doesn't drop on the bomb site.
Koala swings up, wins the fight. Drop was almost at the bomb train. Didn't quite make it in time. Now, once he decides to go for a plant, reveal himself to the CT side. He's heard information, he's spotted one player, but still can't focus down Koala. 11-0 for this individual, by the way. Great opening half, hitting minimum 6 for the Sharks' side. Red Cannon, the tactical finally comes in. They need to find some rifle success. They need it now.
Well, it tells you how poor the trading's been that the B-site anchor is not taking a death. I mean, he was involved in the 1v2 clutch when he was rotating off of B towards connector when they had the 3 stack on A. Anytime you're an anchor, you should not be taking mass amount of deaths because oftentimes it's the A bomb site being hit rather than B, but you should never be on 0 kills or 0 deaths, 2 11 kills. Going into round 8 for Red Canids, I get the vibe that if they don't win right here and right now, they're just going to be done. They're just going to be steamrolled out of this best of 3 in the decider.
One disappointing way to bow out as well when you fought so well on Nuke. Again, we had this series written off in 2-0 fashion as soon as they lost Mirage, but the wherewithal to answer back, to respond, to gain a lifeline in this series, only for it to go to waste in such an epically one-sided fashion. The AWP of Angelo supporting Koala, who gets 2 kills out of the Riflers, and they have been swamped in this round right here in what was a must-win for the Canids. There's just nothing being shown.
It's just a moment to talk about that util, because that's very uncommon. So they've smoked mid-brown halls to basically get the AWP up there from heaven and then to jump up on the lip to give yourself a little off angle. Have protection from the util, but also try and give yourself an advantage to look for an opener. That's a real change-up. We've seen almost no activity towards that area of the map. Quite oftenly on the city side, we see brown halls being taken to maintain pop, to slow down the default, but it hasn't been here in this isolated map, at least in the first half. And then the one time it comes, it just obliterates Cold Zero, Venom Zero, and Drop.
Might have gone close to the kill on Koala, but still no casualties. I think Cowards just got spotted as well at Electric. Player in Z ready to receive him. Walks right in with his head turned to the side. Cowards can finally get RDN, but Doc's there for a responsive. Ponta trades him to reveal his own position. 20 seconds to win a 1 versus 4, of which he's already got the first kill for. Follows close. On no time. Take one down. Will be denied by this AWP. Oh, well, it's AK, in fact. Angelo will remove him from play. 7-1. Sharks have the half.
And imagine being Venom Zero. This is a guy that's been a part of the organization for nearly 2 years now, and he's gone through so many different rebuilds, so many different iterations of the roster. Cold Zero's been here for just over a year. You look at Drop, he's been here for, what, 4 months or so. Cowers and Ponta, they've only been here for about 10 weeks. And you were the only original player that was a part of the Red Canids that was at Pro League a couple of seasons ago in Season 20. And now you're in the qualifier where you're trying to rebuild the roster, you're trying to give yourself that extra push forward, but it's not equating to results. It's not giving yourself that lifeline.
No, not at all. Hero weapon on the half buy for Cowways, desperate to get something back for the Red Canids. Angelo's there, one player slipped past. RDN's been tagged low. Gonna open up an opportunity here for the squad. AK's are leaning closely, almost lined up. Gafolo and Koala are traded. Koala's first death of the game. A 3-on-3 situation. It's the AWPs watch and wait for contact, but unpresenting T-side walking Doc. The face drop to take him. Cold Zero gets a headshot onto RDN. Angelo, best to save onto the AWP right here. Money's going to be fantastic for Sharks, even with this streak. Damage was done to the T-side, but he can't get alive. Can't get out alive here. 7-2. Finally, a second round for the Red Canids.
Great work from Cowers on the bomb site. I mean, he's the one with the hero AK, and while he was quite aggressive in terms of getting up to the bomb trade and looking for fights, he's not trying to rush them down. He's waiting for the overpeaks, and he has an excellent crosshair placement, awaiting for the back bomb swing. From that point onwards, the Tech-9s just get up close and personal. Even though the pre-aim was there, even though they knew that Drop was tucked out towards Olive, when you're facing Tech-9s at that short-range position, never easy against rifles.
Sharks are going to try to respond with his force up by taking map control away. The walk forward from RDN and the T-Con control access from Anclo is going to realise what's happening. That B is going to be the target. You'll have 3 players to bolster up the defence. Follow. Almost took first contact first up. Utility is inbound. The backstab's coming in. The 4th man will now join the defensive. RDN will be late to the party. 5-7 close. SMG waiting to whacked out towards the default plant position. Venom Zero credited with the first kill. Drop gets one more. Angelo and Follow getting involved with a couple of picks, but they can't hold on forever. Angelo's AWP into the bad line, shoots down Cold Zero. That's 1 out of 3 required in the 1v3 clutch. The bomb will be secured. Angelo does not know how close these T-side players are.
Yeah, he's expecting them to try and press him. Now, this is good discipline from Venom Zero and Ponta. They know that there's not a lot of util, so there's probably not going to be an incendiary to force them out into the open. So just sit there and tuck. Just don't really overpeak at all.
Approaching this side with the USP in hand. Ponta, low HP in his context, but Angelo rushes it. Makes noise, gives himself up, and Red Canids now have a way back into this game. A 3rd round with a eco inbound from the Sharks. Seven fire is not a terrible half to concede. It's entirely possible for Red Canids to do that here.
Really poor there from Sharks. That was a perfect read. They knew exactly what was going on. Yeah, you can say the M4 was on the backstab rather than there on B. There's 4 players on that B bomb site with the AWP. That should have just been a shutdown immediately. There should not have even been a way that they could have got the bomb plant in. And they know that they'll be kicking themselves after losing that last round.
What can they do here in the Pop Dog stack? All 5 players are out here. Ponta's watching for now. Backs will be turned. Cold Zero. The Tech-9 to hold that corner. Oh, the footstep heard a drop off. They know there's presence out here. How many aware of exactly how much? Cold Zero with 1, Ponta with another. Cold Zero and 2 more Tech-9 kills. Anglo only takes 1 player out. That's the AWP that can't get recovered. Round 12, the last CT side for the Sharks in this best of 3. And it will be a bye.
Red Canids are getting closer and closer to trying to at least show that this first half had something behind it. 7-1 to 7-4. It's been a difficult shift. It's not been easy by any stretch. Coldzera's got a good spores. He's going to try and see if he can work an opening kill out here towards camera. RDN is not wide enough on the angle, though.
Sharks holding semi-passive positions here across their CT sideline, not pushing in IV and Brown Halls, not even pushing T-Con in the case of Doc, who's done that rather well to success. Koala backing up on the B bomb site with Drop. Working his way towards Heaven, he's got Venom Zero right behind him.
And not a lot of movement in terms of info gathering here from the Sharks. Got a minute on the clock and it's pretty stationary. And it might just be because of the lack of util. They're scared about taking map control without flashes, without putting smokes down. I mean, really, you want to drive them into this A lane because your two B players have got nothing to block.
Time is of the essence here for Canids. 40 seconds to finalise the execution. Re-smokes on as the HE tries to pop it open. Doc's going to get Cowes. And the M4 of Koala on site with a kill of his own. A second one nearly comes in against Drop. The follow now inbound. He's being sent towards him. It's Zed. Koala's focusing on that. Heaven player Ponta take damage but get away with a returning frag and access to that B bomb site. Plant will be secured. RDN can't catch the man. HE will do so though. 12 seconds. He runs right into Ponta. Now going to prioritize that bomb plant. Has it been exposed towards the CT side? Yes, as Angelo picks up one. Coldzera turns it into a 1v1. Can't grab the bomb though. Time's too far ticked. And the Sharks will have the 4-round advantage. At the turn of the half, it's 8-4 to their favor. Felt like the Canids may have given themselves a lifeline. Now they move to their CT side to try and ensure that it is true. An 8-4 half. The Sharks on the start, just like it was on their last train meeting. That ended 16-14 to their favour. Will Red Canids drag it out that far again? We're about to find out. Pistols are live for the final time in this best of 3. As Drop looks to hold the A defensive. You've got Smokes inbound real quick. Ponta moving into the bad line. Seeing now one utility holder. Drop holds back. Gafolo going to lean forward. They should get the bomb plant in. They're going to set up for a wider retake on the Red Cannon side.
And this backstab is already being watched, and Ponta's now giving up the ghost. It is an opening kill, but Tees need space. They'll have to retake this camera control after the smoke.
Push on. Venom Zero is going to get pushed back. 3 players total in at Zed. Venom Zero all the way back in that B bomb site. This might give a chance then to overwhelm Gafolo, and indeed he's gone down out in the meantime. Cowes getting that pick. RDN finally gets the chase together. Cold Zero with a headshot onto RDN on the defuse. Doc's going to go. They're covered off. They can't escape. Low HP on Cold. Low HP on Cowes. They move forward, but Drop has his teammate covered. They get off the defuse anyway. Koala, can he get the right pick at the right time? He's got one of them, but not the second. The defuse will come through. And Red Canids will have another pistol, 5 out of 6, claimed in the best of 3.
Well, it's the exact same scoreline of what happened in the first half switch of Mirage, and look at how comfortable that was to close that game out. Didn't even really get tested. Now the conversation is that going to transpire again, or are we going to have something slightly different? Great pistol there from Red Canids. I think for the Sharks, unfortunately, they drove so many players into Con to try and deal with Venom's error, and it just took them too long to finally kill him off. It took them too far away from the bomb train. They will be force buying in round 14, and remember, Sharks haven't been forcing. All of these round 2s, they've just decided to go Glocks or USBs.
This time the Sharks aren't going to force the issue, and Venom Zero is going to shut them down as a result of it. RDN gets a couple of trades back, but needs to prioritize that bomb plant. Gafolo's going to take space away. 2v3 on the post plant. They
need this kill, and Util is being held. Now there's no chance. Now, do you force again? I would say unlikely. Yes, it's a bomb plant, but it's only 2 casualties. If you could make it a 3rd, maybe even a 4th, I think you keep that pressure up. You try and keep buying down. You keep forcing that reset. I think right here, it's probably not worth going for the reinvest.
I think you might be right there. Scowl was brought in by RDN, but they're just going to go with the upgrade pistols instead, so... Bonus weapons. Most definitively an eco round for the Sharks. The Canids making up some breathing room. 2 to the good. This will be the half where they show that they've still got what it takes to win this best of 3.
Kawa's getting very aggressive and realizes straight away that there's no aggression coming out of T-Con. Now, there was aggression out towards ramp in the last round. Angelo's trying to show that he's got the bomb out there in the brown halls, but they're going into pop quite quickly.
Smokes on, Cowes in behind electric, flashbang will keep him blinded. Will they check this corner? Yes, they will. Doc credited with the kill. Ponta takes 2 back before Angelo can trade him. It's in the air inside that smoke, drops ready at T-Con, but he's not able to get the kick for it. And Cold Zero is overwhelmed by Koala. They don't need 4 buys in these contexts. A 1v3 for Venom Zero. All 3 of the Sharks players that remain are tagged heavily. But he doesn't have faith.
Now just remember this one round, because this may have been the round that lost Red Canids this entire best of 3. This is the worst outcome to lose on an anti-eco, because you haven't been up against a lot of investment and your money's not ideal. Yes, Drop's got a bit of cash. Yes, Cowes does as well, but Cold Zero's low, Ponta's low, Venom Zero's going to have to drop an MP9. There's going to be a weakened buy state here, and for the Sharks, you certainly could never have assumed that you were going to get away with a round victory there.
A few tech lines up close and personal can change that narrative in an instant. Now Red Canids have to consider the force buy on first stage loss bonus.
Even the Tech 9 that was out there in T-Con looked free for the M4 that was sitting in Olaf.
But he couldn't get the job done. That leads us to where we are now. Young sits. RDN trying to get involved first for the Sharks side, unable to do so. Bad by incendiaries and utility suppression down towards Ivy. Sharks will back off.
Good cancel. And the last thing you want to do is start running into the unknown. Through an incendiary, and you don't know what's waiting for you on the other side. Don't get too gimmicky. Now, let's just remember, minute 17 on the clock, and all the utils basically disappeared. I mean, you've got a couple of resmokes left. You've got one incendiary. All of that early pressure towards T-Con and the pressure towards Ivy, it's just pummeled util. So, for now, if you are Sharks, you're thinking late round exec, they're not going to have much to block. They're going to have absolutely nothing.
Action from Ponta. Follow doesn't register him. I think he just caught the info. Ponta's going to back up. Fall completely away. The SMG. Now the range game potential. Cowes does though with the M4 in the back. Andrew's going to take down drop. Second player still to worry about towards main. That bomb on the back of the big green gun. Smoked off on their main threat. Cowes pushed in the corner, but Follow is going to go down with Cold Zero scout shot chiming in. Down a 2, down a 1 is the Sharks with another head playing by the sniper. Doc can take an exit frag with the bomb dropped on the A site. He's got no chance of planting it. Red Canids able to respond.
Well, somehow, some way, Cowes just isn't even really taking damage. Considering that he's trapped towards the back of the bomb train, he's being mollied, he's being forced into the cubby corner. He should be sort of burning and taking Jules out in sandwich, in which he's just losing fights. And instead, he just stays alive. He keeps putting damage up. And then you've got Cold Zero in rotation that gets 2 with the scout. Frustration there from Sharks, because that was a pretty good setup rounds. You didn't have much counter utility against you. Had a lot of players coming out of Pop, a lot of players coming out of T-Cod. Everything was in the right position for the round victory. And instead, this job of closing out this final map looks to be a little bit more difficult than what the naked eye shows.
The Sharks are getting tested again. They've taken a tactical pause to try and recuperate from that. Going to go in around the saved M4, an AWP for Angelo, an AK for Koala. Mac 10s on 2 others, an all-important stance. And must-win round again for the Sharks camp. Red Canids. Down by 2, but the gap has been closing. Cowes here, he's ready for T-side contact. Angelo doesn't hit the shots.
And now you just got to reset from this point onwards. Try and take Pop with 4. Seems a little bit extreme. Gafolo out here towards T-Con is just consistently being smoked off. Now Cowes is waiting to see if there's a little boost up. Now Ponta in the previous round went for that info play deep at Ivy, and he's doing it again.
Sharks starting to regroup back at the Brown Halls. No Ivy presence to receive. He's for the T-side line. Smoke start coming down. Block off Zed. Molotov the site. Venom Zero good for one of those picks, not the second of them. RDN trading, and Cow is going to get caught, but RDN caught a little bit too far forward. Cold Zero hits that shot, but not the second man.
Watch out for the late lurk, Jay. You've got Gafolo getting here with a freebie.
Oh, drop. Easy pickings of that Mac 10. And the backstab of that Famar suddenly looking a little bit more weak, and Angelo's checking for it, but tunnel visioned towards Pop Dog. He does start to fall away, but he's still looking the wrong direction. Ponta, he's wary of what's coming his direction. Angelo backs up towards heaven as Cold Zero starts to escape, and that backstab can only look for exit frags now. Gafolo's going to deal with Cold, or going to try to do so. Gets him. Free AWP. Not that he needs it. His teammate already has one, but he'll keep it away from the CT side. Sharks now put the money hurt on the Canids.
Well, we're just going back and forth with force by steals, and unfortunately, it's always the CT side that loses out, isn't it? And especially when you invest in a big green. You're now in a position where, well, I don't really know what your options are. You're 7-10 down, you're double eco on pretty much the worst buy state possible. You've tried Ivy Lurks already. You could try Brown Hall's aggression or pop aggression. Otherwise, try and gamble somewhere. This is going to test the in-game leader. This is going to test Drop to make a really uncomfortable call. And if you're Sharks, you just know, win this round. We win this best of 3. We wrap this up quickly. We send it towards the next best of 3 where it looks like we're taking on 9Z. So let's finish it right here and right now. We've had chances to force against the anti-force buy and sort of end the wars early, but it hasn't quite been achieved just yet.
The Red Canids playbook may just read the prayer of Hail Mary, because that's what you're going to need. Scout, 2 SMGs, 1 FAMAS and a Deagle. Some attempts at wallbang tags to the Brown Halls will not go anywhere. Cowes starts moving. RDN backs at turn towards Pop Dog. This could be a perfect chance for the Canids to strike, but RDN checks it. Tagged up slightly, fights on Drop. Drop can take him. Secondary AK of Koala gets the man advantage back, but Ponta returns to a 3-on-3 out of Tikon. 14 points of health though. Koala's hunting and 19 kills deep. He's having a hell of a series. Continues to be a thorn in the side of the Red Canids.
And now for Venom Zera, you give yourself a tidy off angle, but you've got to hope that Cold Zera can get one. You've got to hope that this scout out here from Hell can do some damage and try and stay alive. 50 seconds on the clock. CTs are separated. And the Sharks, this is great control. I mean, Gafolo's now seeing the player out towards Brown Halls. Venom Zera's got 2 players to deal with. He gets caught repositioning. A Cold Zera might as well just save. There's no point even going for this with the scout.
His playbook reads Hail Mary. So he's going to Hail Mary this retake, it seems. No save call. USP will get closer to Gafolo. It doesn't seem like Gafolo's going to check in. No, he looks the right way. Catches him off. Miracles will not happen today. It seems 11-7 Sharks closing in on the win. Red Canids on the second of the double eco rounds with no real buy potential. If you're forcing for a miracle, and at this stage, it might just be best to try the overtime play. You'll need 5 in a row for the Canids, because the Sharks should be seeing this through. They should be up 12-7 now.
It's a good call not to be forcing here. That would have been ludicrous. Sharks are bringing a bit more pace in this round, going fast into Brown Halls, in towards the pop control. And for the Red Canids, you're not looking for exit damage. What you're looking for is 1 kill to save an AK. That would be ideal.
Doc leans up. Ponta. Flashbang to try to set his teammates up. Bomb plan will be secured. Flash forward doesn't catch Dog, but Gafolo has him on lock anyway. Angelo also chimes in. Barely any damage done to the Sharks there, which really sums up this map in totality. 12-7. Map match point for the Sharks. Elimination point for Red Canids, who take their 3rd and final tactical timeout. This bye and the streak that will need to follow it will be their day of do or die.
And we know Drop was able to post 15 kills on map 1, 20 kills on map 2. Highest rated player for the Red Canids on train in the last 3 months. But he is 8-14 going into round 20. And I guess as an in-game leader, responsibility always needs to be taken when you're down by score lines or when losses come in. But when you're an in-game leader that frags to the level that he does, when you put yourself in a lot more of those star positions, you put yourself in those more active roles, you can't afford to be 8-14. That is an underperformance by quite a stretch.
Koala. Early damage done towards him. Slight start up for Canids camp, but nothing that will lead to a round victory, which is really what they're hunting for at the moment. They are in desperate need of success. It's a slow uptake, as per usual. Sharks play their cards rather close to their chest.
Well, you've got to expect Ponta to eventually, at some point in the round, re-aggress Ivy. I'm looking at the idea of the lack of util, no AWP. Someone needs to make an extension, and that's what we've seen in their playbook in previous gun rounds. And Cowes and Drop just jiggling off of one another. Another re-smoke goes down there towards T-Con. The Sharks have got no worries whatsoever with running this clock. There's still 45 seconds to work with, and they've got so much util for site execs.
Good counter smokes on the CT side. HEs will try and return some damage. Doc will take none of it. Make a bit of noise though. That'll give some info up to Cowes, but the real headlines will be over on that B bomb site. Execution inbound. Venom Zero and Cold Zero on the defensive line. You've also got a third man. Ponta rotating in. Good kill for Venom. Second one comes in as well. The following Koala are down. RDN trades 1 and 2. Goes back to return. Angelo needs support from Doc, who's rotating in the long way round. Players making up some space. Angelo with a kill. Cowes trades it and doubles up. And that is survival for Canids, 1 out of 5.
Well, for Red Canids, they read the round correctly. You've got yourself your anchor that's playing a little bit further back up on the raft and near the oil train. You've got a player on the backside, then you've got a rotation in from Con. So really, there's 3 defenders on there on B before the exec has even come in. And that's always a helping hand. I mean, Venom Zera, he's had a tough series. He's a player that I don't particularly know a huge amount about. He's a guy that has had very limited pro experience at the higher end of the tiers. And it's a guy that has not delivered much on map 1 or map 2, and even here on map 3. However, that was a good hold from him. That was a multi-frag where he wasted a lot of time and put up quite a decent amount of chunk of damage.
Look at Doc here. Cat RDN with the opening kill on Ponta. The back lines being contested at Ivy. Orb shots missing. Doc's tank damage. Coldera's caught RDN. Flanks inbound. Players hugging corners. Drop going to try and counter flank the flank. Angelo picks up his pick and Doc strikes to the headshot. Down to 2 men. But look at Cowes right here. He's waiting for the round-winning play. He may well need it, but it's such open space. And not enough T-side players in his sights! Koala turns around, Cowes is caught, and Venom Zera is done. As are the Red Canids, who are eliminated from the ESL Pro League South America qualifier.
Well done to Sharks. They got tested quite a bit, and when we consider their opening 2 games against Keydstars and 2 game was very comfortable. Their series against Legacy, they should have at least been able to push to a